Hey, good evening and welcome once again, SOBs, to Stream of Blood, the streaming show where I, Jared Logan, storytell, game master, or keep my way through a horrific night of action and terror. You've tuned in to Vampires of Pittsburgh, Chapter 7, using the Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition game and rules. And we are so happy to have you here. We ended on a gigantic cliffhanger last time. I personally am very curious to see where the story goes tonight because as a storyteller, I keep things very open-ended. I don't know what the players are going to do or quite how they're going to get themselves out of this pickle, but I'm very anxious to see. Just wanted to do a little business up top. We wanted to thank Selena. That she's at Canadian Conure is her handle. I think I'm saying that right on Instagram, for the incredible fan art she made for the Vampires of Pittsburgh characters, the player characters. Yeah, there it is. And this is based on our own player Ross Bryant's artwork. But these are just great. So you can see Curtis there on the left, and then yeah, there's Ross Bryant's artwork, and then there's Miles Vanderbuck in the middle and Jen Brown on the right there. So, yeah, thank you so much. We love receiving these things, obviously. So please keep sending us fan art or any other work you have that's inspired by something on here. We will post it. We will talk about it. And also wanted to say, we even received a Vampire the Masquerade Vampires of Pittsburgh theme song from one of our fans, Axel K. I just want to make sure I get the names right. Axel Kazis Taylor wrote us this super cool theme song. And as soon as we can figure out how to blast some music here on StreamYard, which is our streaming service here, we will definitely play that for you. But I just wanted to thank Axel for sending that to us as well, because it's really great. But like the antediluvian kindred we haven't mastered all of our technology skills. So we don't quite know how to play it yet, but we will soon. Also, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to kind of know what we have coming up, because we're doing all kinds of new things. We're going to be putting up games other than our main two games where I'm the game master. We're going to be doing some new games coming up. We're going to be doing something called Stream of Blood Laboratory, where we play games that are kind of like one-offs, that are like games that the game designer comes and runs the game for some players. So that'll be a cool way to like see some games maybe you've not been exposed to before. That's coming up very soon. This Friday, our friend Andy Ashcraft, if you remember when Jackie Cation was on our Dark Ages Cthulhu show? Well, Jackie Cation, her husband's name is Andy Ashcraft, and he is a fantastic game designer of video games, but also board games, and he has created a tabletop role-playing game called The Hero Instant. So we'll have some superhero action this Friday in our Stream of Blood Laboratory, featuring me, Jackie Chow, and a guy that does a lot of writing for actually Dungeons & Dragons 5e, and an old friend of mine, Dan Telfer. So please tune in for that on Friday. And also this coming Sunday, we have the second adventure in our ongoing Call of Cthulhu game, The Neptune Society. Set in the 19th century, players will confront the horrors of the Cthulhu mythos, mostly on the sea. It has a salty, briny, nautical tinged kind of vibe to it. And Ross Bryant is doing some artwork for that too, which is kind of cool. So you can see some of his art there. Yes, here's some of the stuff he did for our last adventure, which it went pretty well for the players. They all survived. And if you can survive in Call of Cthulhu, you're doing very well. So another thing just to note is that Call of Cthulhu show every Sunday is going to be moving to 2 p.m. It's been 1:30 before. It's 2 p.m. now. Okay. I see that we have some people watching now. Everybody's caught up. We've done our business. So it's time to introduce my players. Let's do that. She is playing the thin-blooded vampire Tech Mogul. You might call her the ambivalent kindred. She, in some ways, is very afraid of her own vampiric nature. But as a performer, this actress is never afraid. Hey, that was a pretty great intro. Please welcome the very funny and talented Ashley Burch, everybody.
You can't see it, can you? It says get pink.
It says
like
get pink. I can
elegant.
see it now. Hashtag get pink. How are you,
Jared,
Ashley?
I have to say, I was so invested in your intro because I didn't know any of that. And I think it's so the laboratory idea is so exciting.
Yeah, right. Exactly. We're going to have all kinds of games that people have just invented. I've even been talking to my friend Guy Branham. He wrote a game called Drag Queen the Fearsoning. We're going to try to get it on here.
Oh, my God.
Everybody plays drag queens in a sort of exaggerated drag queen world. He told me about it. I was like, let's get it in the laboratory. We're going to do all kinds of games like that.
That sounds incredible. Can I ask if you ever do like a Magical Girls Sailor Moon-esque one? Can I be a part of it?
I'm just going to write down to do that right now because we do requests here. And I actually love the Magical Girl genre, and everybody loves to hear that from a slightly chubby 40-year-old man. All right, I'm going to bring in our next player. He is playing the drug-addled, disgruntled veteran with I think, a pretty strong sense of justice. And he's been so clutch in so many of the tight situations that the coterie has gotten themselves into. And he's just a multi-talented. He's like a Swiss Army knife of talents. Improv. I know that he sings. He also draws these fantastic works of art for our stream. Please welcome the awesome Ross Bryant, everybody.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. Welcome back.
You're very kind. You really threw down the gauntlet, and now I feel obliged to be reading a dark book every time you do.
No, people like it. I like it. What is the dark side?
So this is a history of Satan written in the 1980s. My favorite sign that this is a relic of the Cold War era is the end of the blurb at the back, which says, "A major difference between our time and former times is that the stakes are higher. Satan now has atomic weapons with which to achieve his aims."
Wow. Sometimes Satan is a subtle tempter, and sometimes he just drops the H-bomb on
you. He can take on many guises. I also am super excited by what you said. There's a theme song. Oh God, I can't.
We'll make that available. I think it might be available on the Facebook group already.
Ooh.
The theme song, we want to put that out there every way we can, and we want to figure out how to blast some music here on the stream. So you'll hear the theme song. It's great. It's great.
And Ross, as ever, the Neptune Society art was awesome.
Thank you.
Yes,
So nice.
Choice. So next, this guy, please do watch his comedy specials on Netflix with his friend Ben Schwartz. They're called Middleditch and Schwartz. In our last adventure, his character got attacked by a werewolf and got his arm completely ripped off. So who knows what's going to happen to him?
I forgot about it too.
Yeah, you guys completely forgot, right? You got to fix that somehow.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to come through. I have a feeling. We're going to make sure he's very present in tonight's session, no matter what. We're so happy to have the brilliant Mr. Thomas Middleditch, everybody.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I see you've now met my familiar.
You have a familist in real life.
Yes.
Is that which of your doggies is that?
Potter, and then that's the meatloaf, the diabolical meatloaf there.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
You can't trust her. Her power is growing every day.
Yeah, I know from experience that they can be ferocious predators.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Minpins. Yeah.
Yes. What do you think? What are you thinking about where your character's at right now, Thomas? He's kind of temporarily dead.
I'm curious to see how temporary death, even how that works with vampires. I must admit, Thomas, the player, knows very little about vampires, the real thing.
Well, I have some bad news. Jen Brown and Curtis, the actual vampires in a fictional universe, also know very little about how that works. and they are your support system right now. So I guess we'll all learn together. That's
Yay!
That's the story. But I guess let's get right into it. Let's set the scene with a brief recap. The characters were sent on a mission to track down a vampire that is known as the Barfly. He's known to be an anarch that poaches in the Camarilla territory here in Pittsburgh. They tracked him to a motorcycle club's kind of bar clubhouse. They had a huge fight with the motorcycle gang. They found out the Barfly's name, which was Stu Headley. They killed a couple members of the motorcycle gang and got one of their cell phones and found Stu's number. And they called him and tried to kind of wheel and deal with him to try to kind of get him to come out in the open to meet our Jen Brown, Curtis Krieger, and Miles Vanderbuck so that they could fulfill their mission. Basically, capture him or get him in a corner and find out more information about the Anarch members in Pittsburgh. Well, in the phone call, Miles Vanderbuck pretended to be Stu's dad, whom the coterie had already killed. Your characters were told to meet him at a certain place in Shinley Park near the Vietnam War Pavilion. You went out to meet Stu for this kind of little parley, and you were attacked by a man experiencing homelessness that then transformed into an enormous slavering wolf creature that proceeded to chase you into the outdoor restroom areas. Yes, Casper, our werewolf, came running out of the pavilion and attacked you. He broke into the kind of like janitor's closet, like shed where you guys were kind of hiding inside the outhouse. He ripped off Miles's arms. You guys got a couple shots off on him, but then you had to take Miles's body, and Jen and Curtis had to crawl down into an old coal chute that was a remnant from when the building was used maybe earlier in the 20th century, and you kind of went down into this sort of like sub basement where coal used to be moved around, but you can see that because they don't use that system anymore, it's all been walled off down there. And now the sun is coming up. So what I want to know from Jen and Curtis is, do you allow yourself to fall asleep, or is there something that you want to do before that happens? The coal chute also had a metal hatch, which I believe you slammed shut. But as far as you know, the werewolf is still out there. And as far as you know, sunlight does not affect him, but it affects you very much. So let me know what you'd like to do.
I want to look. Is there anything in the chute that we could use to further barricade the only perceptible entrance, the metal door?
Yeah, that door is kind of above you and it kind of opens outward, and it doesn't look like there's really anything down here anymore except like rusted old metal like pieces. Like, I guess in theory you could use a difficult craft roll to kind of wedge maybe some iron bars up against the chute in some way, but it would be tough.
It opens away from where we are.
It does.
Could that metal be forced into a handle to create a kind of?
Yeah, maybe like so. Yeah, why don't you just give me a little bit of a strength plus craft roll to kind of do this? And what is your hunger at currently? I just want to know.
3.
Ooh, yeah. Not good, baby.
No.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm starving.
Mm-hmm.
Forget.
There's 2 successes out of 3 or 4.
Oh, okay. Now when you try to like push the hatch up, you kind of like wedged like this big, like old rusting like piece of metal, like rebar, like into this like handle on the hatch, and now it like kind is like catching against the concrete above you. I don't mean that it's catching because the werewolf does not appear to be inside. It does not appear to be like trying to rip it off. Like he's gone quiet, just to be clear.
Okay.
But
I guess
you find yourself falling asleep, and as I described with vampiric sleep, it's not like normal, like, oh, I'm tired, I'm gonna snore. It's like you are kind of dying. You're like the vitality is leaving your body. It's hard to stay awake.
I think I will allow that to happen. Before I do, I want to, just because I kind of don't know how it works, I want to and having seen the werewolf knit itself back together and kind of seen that happen to us a time or two, I'm just going to put Miles's arm back in place to the best of my ability. Just going to just set it.
Set it and forget it.
Set it and forget it, baby. Yeah.
What about you, Jen Brown? Anything you want to try to do before you succumb to the sleep of aeons?
Well, this might be cheating, but I'm wondering if there's any. I mean, it probably would be cheating, but if there's any way that I've like somehow gleaned, if there's a roll I could make that I could have somehow gleaned information while we were in Elysium or from any of our adopted sires about this process and what we might need to do for Miles.
Yeah. Why don't you? That's no problem. Why don't you give me an intelligence plus? I think we're going to call this occult.
Okay, so it'll be just intelligence. And I believe, am I also at a hunger of 3 or a hunger of 2?
If you think 2, then it probably is 2. I know that Ross, Curtis got up there a little bit, but you may not have gotten.
Oh, I think because you had to make a rouse check, I think is what it was.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I'm at a 2. Success. 1 success.
You have a brainstorm, which is that just based on what you've cobbled together from whispers and rumors that you overheard in Elysium, vampiric blood has properties that regular blood doesn't. And maybe it would be a good idea to feed that to him. Do you succumb to your sleep now?
Do I have time to try to feed Miles? Or is he just not like a light?
Give me a willpower roll to stay awake.
Okay, let's see here.
Click with fury, Ashley. Really click them bones.
Verfound!
Success!
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Well done. Okay, so I need a rouse check from you. You're probably going to get hungrier as you kind of like manage to kind of like cut open your wrist with your own fang and put it up to Miles's mouth. And Miles,
do I need to do a willpower?
Yes. Oh, yes. To see if you could stay awake long enough to do that. Yes. And that was a success. The willpower, right?
The willpower, but also for the blood, or can I not see it because it's so dark?
I could also help and like kind of nurse.
Holy
like,
shit!
If you turn away, I could like nurse style.
Give me willpower to cut your own wrist open. And yeah, if you want to help Curtis, you can. But I still want to see how Jen reacts.
Yeah.
God. Okay. Oh boy. Well, if I pass out, then you can maybe just spoon it in for me.
I'm doing the blood siphon.
That would be a total failure.
A total failure. So here's what I'm going to rule. Curtis finally has to take your wrist from you, and he's like, you told him you wanted to do this, but once you start doing it, you really start struggling and kind of freaking out. I don't know. You can tell me how you freak out, but Curtis is having to really help you get this done and actually rip open your wrist for you. So I mean, maybe we kind of just let the lights go down on this really sad and horrifying scene as Curtis rips open your arm for you and helps you to feed blood to Miles. And I will say the last thing that you see before both of you, it just goes dark for you, is Miles's body, and he is just a full corpse. Like,
oh God.
Trapped.
Things go black. Miles, you can make 3 rouse checks.
Okay.
What is your hunger at right now?
2.
Okay, good. Give me 3 rouse checks.
Remind me, what's that again?
That's just 1 die. You want to get a 6 or above. If you do, your hunger will not increase. If you fail, your hunger will increase by 1. But you're making 3 rouse checks right now. Normally, you only make 1 at a time.
Okay. So I'm just 1 die, and it says success. So that's 1.
Mm-hmm.
Fail.
Okay, you're at hunger 3 now.
Okay.
Oh God.
Another fail.
You are now at hunger 4.
Oh, no.
Beastie Boy.
I have some good news for you.
Okay.
You can heal 1 aggravated damage, and your character is conscious.
All right.
How's an arm?
You're allowed to heal 1 major injury with that heal. And I'm going to rule that your arm, where Curtis placed it, is now like you look and your arm is reattached to your body. Although it might be moving a little weird since you've only healed 1 aggravated damage.
Son of a gun, would you look at that? That's not like Twilight at all.
My other 2 players, your Vamps, can hear Miles shouting out inside this little kind of like, what do you call it? Sub-basement. You can hear him screaming out, and you can now awaken and act. It is the evening of the next night. You have been sleeping all day, and it is late spring, almost early summer. So it's got to be around 7:30 now.
Okay. I feel like I would start awake from Miles screaming and be like, "Oh my god! Oh my god! It fucking worked! Are you okay?"
It burns.
Oh my god! I look at his arm and I'm just like, holy shit, it worked.
And then, kind of overcome, I just like hug him. I'm like, I thought you were dead.
Oh, that's when I need Miles to make a willpower roll. He is at hunger 4, and you fed him some of your blood, Ashley.
Oh.
Jen. Sorry, I should use character names.
You're breaking my immersion, Jared.
Yes.
Please.
Willpower. So, okay, I'm sorry. What am I rolling here?
You're just rolling all of the pips you have in your willpower stat.
Okay, that's quite a lot of pips.
Oh, that's good.
That's good.
But you know that each time you spend a willpower to like re-roll failures, like the stat goes down and then you roll the new lower.
I don't think I've done that yet.
I don't think have you ever spent willpower to re-roll? I don't think you have. Okay, great. Then you have your full willpower, which would be your resolve plus your composure. It should equal resolve plus composure.
Okay, well, it says messy critical. Like a messy critical pass? Like it's a green font?
Okay, yeah. I don't think that you can get those kind of messy criticals on willpower rolls because hunger dice don't really come into play.
Oh,
so
whoops. I've totally put my hunger dice in there.
That's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mess with us at all. I think that you did get a critical is what you got. So you feel the hunger rise up on you, and you can kind of smell the vitae inside of her, but you can act however you want. You're not kind of controlled by the beast inside you.
I guess my immediate concern is
where's that damn werewolf? Is he still out there?
We don't know. We've been in here all day.
Ruby is kind of like looking up at the hatch, but she's not acting like she was earlier when the werewolf was around, where she was like tense and like growling or like whining. Okay. She's just kind of looking up. Her tail is wagging. She's licking Curtis's face.
I think it's okay out there for now. I say we get out of here. I don't want to be buried anymore down here.
Yeah, let's get out of here ASAP.
What do we do if it's out there?
Well, if it's out there, well, let's move quietly. And if it's out there, then we come back or try to give it the slip, although maybe coming back here might be better.
Okay.
We can't stay down here forever.
I'm guessing I don't get signal on the phone.
Down here, why don't you just roll a die for me and tell me what you get?
Just a die?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Success.
Okay, I think that when you hold the phone like up to the metal hatch, like you get like 1 bar for a second. You're not that far below the earth.
Okay, so here's what I would like to do.
Okay.
So I know that there are sometimes public cameras that even like there are cameras set up in public places that even people can look at. Like at the beach, there are cameras that you can see the surf if you're a surfer, for example. So I'm wondering if there's like, since it's a park, if there are cameras that I can see, that I can get a phone, that I can see if the werewolf's out there.
Interesting. Okay, so you're just kind of doing a web search for these like public cameras, and just give me a wits plus technology roll, please.
Okay. 7. Am I at a 3 now? I am, huh? Because I failed my rouse check. Okay.
Yeah.
Success.
Okay, great. So suddenly Jen Brown is like, look, and she's got truly that the park is like, it's near a university and all these places that kind of like do have this kind of, CCTV kind of monitoring system. And she's found the site that it's on. And with a little bit of like scrolling, Jen Brown, you see the homeless guy kind of walking through another section of the park. You don't see the building you're in near him at all. He looks like he's like beside a chain link fence, and beyond that fence there's like a bleacher or something like that. He's like not in an area that you recognize exactly.
How about that car we abandoned?
Right. So the other thing that you notice, Jen Brown, when you look on your when you look on this CCTV system, is that there is a faraway shot of your outhouse, and there appears to be police tape around it.
Around the outhouse?
Well, around the outhouse, because remember the outhouse was like right up the hill from like where the car was crashed. So I'm sorry, it's around where the car accident happened, not up by the outhouse.
But they would have line of sight on us potentially.
Possibly, yeah. It's around the Nissan Leaf. Yes.
Huh.
Are there cops there now, or is there just tape?
You don't see anybody. I mean, in theory, just logicking it out like a normal person would, they might have caught this like in the morning and already have left.
Wait, so that was your car. So now your car is linked to a car accident, and now the police are going to be asking about us.
Yeah. Also, there are cameras in this park, which means the police have footage of a werewolf attack.
That is a really great question, Curtis. And, I encourage everybody to make a intelligence plus politics roll.
Okay.
Do I have politics? I have 1.
Does hunger play into this?
It will.
What if you're
Success?
Yeah. Well.
Jen Brown, if there is indeed footage of you guys with a werewolf fight, then you have broken the Masquerade, and you could be in trouble with the Camarilla. Again, remembering back, you guys mostly stayed in the car, and it's the other creature that maybe potentially exposed himself. But I want you guys to know just a little bit about how you feel right now. You're at hunger 3 and 4. So these conversations are really hurried and like paranoid. It's like a bunch of junkies like talking to each other. Like you guys are like down in this like little coal chamber. Like, what oh my God. Like it's just all like very frenzied, and you can't get over the fact of how hungry you are right now.
Listen to me, goddammit. What we have to do is go to Silesia. We gotta talk to the people that are in cahoots with the police to let them know that we fought some vampire. Because what are we gonna do? Erase all the footage? I don't know how to do that. What are you, Zero Cool from Hackers?
I could do that, but
you could do that from a distance, or you'd have to go to the place where the tapes are.
Could I?
They might erase these after a couple of days. They can't possibly keep all this stuff on file.
Probably already looked at them. Goddammit!
Nobody's sitting around watching the tapes in the park.
You know how many hours of footage that is? No one's watching it. We need to get the fuck out of here. Well, how are we getting out of here? He's over on the other side of the park now. We need to go.
I wrench the metal out of the door and I say, "Fine, let's go." Are we to go? Are we going to take your car? Or
no,
we walk?
It's fucking total, man. We got to just get out of here. We got to run out of the park.
There's no way the car's even there. It probably towed it.
Collars up, hoods up. I don't want my face in these cameras.
Collars up, hoods up.
Collars up, hoods up. Sounds like you guys are being kind of stealthy.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, no.
Okay,
We're
problem.
Doing Carmen San Diego.
Can someone put me on their back or something then? Because I have no pips still.
Can we do 2 chipmunks in 1 trench coat?
I want everybody to make that Dex plus stealth roll, but I'm going to say that who is the best at this? Probably Curtis. Is that right?
I think maybe Dex plus stealth.
Yeah,
yes,
definitely not
probably
me.
so.
Okay, so he was the one that opened the hatch and was like, go, 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 and is kind of leading you guys out here. So he'll make the final roll, and how bad or well you guys do will affect his roll. So go ahead, Miles and Jen, make your rolls.
So I can't. I only have 2 dex and 0 stealth and 3 hunger die.
Okay, that means you roll 2 hunger dice.
Okay.
Oh, I've got 1. I will be rolling a total of 1, and I have 4 hunger die.
Okay. So you'll roll. You have
1 and 4.
Yep.
Total failure. Sorry, Curtis.
Total failure.
Okay, I rolled 6 dice. I got 2 successes.
Okay. Oh, don't roll yours yet. That was a good roll. I'm sorry, I should have said. So, Jen, did you succeed? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Total failure.
Total failure. So 2 total failures. So I think we need to roll Curtis's roll with like 2 dice off of his roll because his friends are being loud, cagey, and weird and fighting with each other.
All right. So I'm rolling 2 less than what I would be rolling normally.
That's correct.
Okay.
Oh God.
And you have 3 companions, so I need 3 successes here. Yeah.
I'm afraid I achieved 2 successes.
Fuck.
Okay, so do you have some dice that were failures, but not like that aren't hunger dice? No, you do not.
No, because I have 3
hoods
hunger
up,
dice.
collars up, and then
there was only
clink,
one.
clink, 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 clink.
Only
Okay,
one of those 4 I rolled was not a hunger dice.
All I'll say is that you start kind of running toward the exit of the park, and you hear behind you, "Hey, come back here!"
Shit. Keep running.
Don't run.
Keep running.
Yeah, we continue running.
Dex plus athletics, everybody. Dex plus athletics.
Scheisse, that's all hunger die. Okay. Oh boy.
We're just a couple of hungry vamps. Well,
Total failure.
Oh, I got
Jen
a
face
success.
plants.
4 successes.
1 success.
1 success. Okay.
Leave her. She's dead weight. Let's go.
That is kind of what's happening.
Ow!
I mean, he's a hungry guy.
And the other thing I want to tell you guys is part of the problem is you're so filled with hunger that you're not even moving like normal people. You're like moving like the little girl from The Ring, and you're like kind of like skittering weirdly and stuff like that. And maybe that's what's kind of messing with like Jen Brown is like being the thin blood. She's mostly human, but like, I don't know, the hunger is really kind of making her sort of delirious, and she's kind of like tripping as she runs. But finally, like you hear, "Freeze! Get down on the ground!"
Uh-oh.
And it's kind of pretty close behind Jen Brown. You two, well, no, Miles only got 1 success. Curtis, you're away. You're like out of the street right now. You're not even sure if they've seen you. You were so fast and did so well at this.
Great.
So
yeah, I'm doing that run where I'm really hunched down and occasionally my hands make contact with the ground. It's a dog-like gallop.
I get Jen. I stop. I get Jen moving. I go, 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 go. I'll see you back at the hotel is what I wanted to say, but that's not where we're staying at. We're staying at your abandoned warehouse.
You want to the Haven? The Haven.
Yeah. And I'd like to #GetPink, put on my best pitiable thing, and pretend essentially that I've just been mugged, and they're going and point to a different direction as to where they went off, and be like, and then like, I need help kind of thing.
You're gonna #GetPink with 4 hunger? Great.
Yeah.
Give me a rouse roll.
Great. How do you rouse? Just 1?
1 die.
Success.
Wow. Okay. Good.
Okay.
What else you got?
You get pink and you approach them. Jen is like running off, and Miles, this has happened before. Let's see if it goes the same way. It's just 1 guy. And he's got like a gun out on you.
I mean, I'm definitely bloodied, like or I look, my clothes are ripped from being, my arms getting ripped off. I'd like to put on the pitiable show, maybe add some presence if possible, really kind of like.
So you're using your presence awe power.
Yeah,
that makes sense. So when you use that power, let's see here. You get to roll your manipulation plus presence, and then you will add your presence rating to the subsequent subterfuge roll that you use.
Manipulation plus presence.
Mm-hmm.
Pity. So that's okay. Great. I like that.
And do roll your hunger dice for all this.
Got it. Here we go. So we're looking at 6 and 4. And here we go. 2 successes.
Okay, great. And it's not any kind of messy critical or bestial failure. So you have activated the power of awe within you. So now you can roll your manipulation plus subterfuge.
Oh,
plus
I've done that wrong. I've done that wrong. What was I supposed to roll initially just then?
Just then it was just manipulation plus presence. Manipulation plus presence.
Okay. Then I need to do a worse odds. So let me do that correctly.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Manipulation plus presence.
Yeah, let's see if this goes.
Oh, great. Still 2 successes.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, great. So you can now use your manipulation plus subterfuge plus your extra die for being pitiable plus 2 more dice for your presence.
Whoa.
Excellent.
Ooh.
3
What could go wrong?
successes.
Okay, good.
Okay, so what are you saying to the guy?
I'm saying
I just got the hell just beat out of me.
they ran off that way, and I point some other direction that those guys didn't go. And I say,
These goddamn city's turning shit. I'm a senior citizen.
Okay, the guy goes, "Let me call EMTs for you.
Wait.
Let me help you."
Yeah. Help me. Could you take a look at this, please? I don't feel good. I just need you to right away.
You actually still don't look good. You may have gotten pink, but you look like clawed up, bloody, and injured. And he goes, I'm a first responder. Hold on. And he starts like ripping open your shirt to kind of like help bind the wound or something like that.
Oh God.
Daddy's hungry, Jared. Daddy wants the blood.
Daddy wants to feed.
Daddy wants that meat.
I feel
Daddy
like
want to suck.
I feel
Daddy
like
wants to suck.
I feel like the fly is in the trap, my friend. Would you like to feed?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, great. So you bite into the guy's neck, I assume, and start feeding, and he immediately is affected by your kiss and goes limp in your arms. This is a cop like, with a badge and everything, and he's just like laying there in your arms.
This is very Tom of Finland. It's
who knows what goes on in the park at night, you know? And basically you feed, and unless you want to drain him dry and kill him, right now your hunger is going to go down by 1.
Oh, I see. I won't. What neighborhood are we in? Our zone?
You are not in your zone. And I think that if Curtis and Jen are watching, they will realize that as you guys all spoke of just a minute ago, there are cameras in the park. So now on camera, we have Miles, possibly on camera. We don't know that they cover every inch, but possibly on camera, we have Miles eating a cop.
The kind of thing that they'd probably definitely want to get footage of.
Oh yeah, well, he's got a body cam. He's probably got me slurping away.
It's possible.
Right? I mean, body cams on all the cops, please. So let's just see this here. Blue Lives Matter. One thing is there a role for me to stop slurping and not kill, or it's just my decision?
You know, I think that at Hunger 4, I need a roll, and that'll be willpower.
Okay. Is that with a hunger pool of now 3 because I've sucked, or still 4?
Willpower doesn't get hunger die. So just roll your straight willpower and tell me how it goes.
Oh, great. And my willpower is so many. So I'm going to roll 7.
Yeah, Miles is very resolved, and he has quite a bit of composure. He's a tough guy.
No problem. Yeah, I think I should stop sucking him off in the park.
Sure. Okay, so you stop that.
Because but he's seen me, right? I mean, they don't lose memory or anything, do they?
Well, you've heard of powers that could help you make that happen, but I will say that the kiss gives such ecstasy that most mortals can't, like, the second you get off of them, they can't suddenly like attack you. Like, he would need to make some rolls to start like acting against you again immediately, and I don't know that he's up to it. I would have to roll. But
if it sort of feels like he's in a daze, I want to take his firearm from him, not to like necessarily use it in our arsenal. My plan is to misplace it so he looks like a idiot cop that lost his own gun.
Great. He does seem to be in a daze, and you pull off of him. Your hunger is down to 3 now, still considerable. You pull off of him. You can unclip the gun from his holster. That's how much of a daze he's in. And do you want to throw it into the bushes or something like that?
Yeah, I just want to chuck it, and I want to look him. I chuck it as far as I can, and I will look him in the eyes and say,
Thank you. I'm okay now. You're such a hero. You're such a hero.
waddle off into the dark.
Well, I'm just going to make a note for there to be plenty of fallout from all of that.
Oh my God.
I mean, should I have killed him? I don't know.
I don't know either. Don't look at me for answers.
Ross, would you have killed him?
I feel like that would make it worse.
Yeah, right? Then we'd have a body on our hands.
But suffice to say, you now have the whole evening ahead of you. You guys have escaped the park, and
it's so stressful. There's so much to manage.
It's harder to be a vampire. Where do you want to go now? I heard people talk about the Haven. Is that where everybody's headed?
I think we should go to the Elysium because we got to report what just happened. There's a werewolf. There's shit on camera. Like, we're in over our heads.
And also
go ahead.
We know, and also we have information about the barfly that is valuable, even though we're not necessarily bringing him to him on a silver platter. We do have his name and his phone number.
Well, I mean, what were they expecting? They're entrusting brand new Vamps to a delicate espionage mission. It's really their fault. We should point the finger at them.
I think you guys have caught up with each other on the street. You're now all walking along the street and you're talking about this. Keep in mind, you are all still pretty hungry, even though Miles has really taken the edge off. I think that if you want to discuss any more options, like, does anybody remember any more options you might have?
I mean, one is me going to have a chat with
Churchill Jackson.
Churchill Jackson's my sire, but who is it? Brad
Lockwood.
Brad Lockwood is the drug dealer that I was. But fuck him. I don't know.
Well, hey, no. I mean, I don't want to influence you one way or another, but I will say that those don't sound insane to me. Like, Brad might know something about these guys. You never asked him about that.
That's but that just kind of opened up that might be a connection I can use, but it seems that, like, taking stock of what's happened so far seems to me maybe a little bit more important, unless Jen Brown is against going to Elysium.
Well, two things. Is it conceivable that I, with power at my disposal, like literal, like electronic power, that I could erase the footage myself, given my tech prowess? Well,
it is possible. You would need hours of time and a pretty up-to-date computer setup, and you'd have to make a bunch of hacking rolls, which would be pretty difficult. I mean, you just know from this kind of thing that it's like almost like a night's work to do something like that. And even then, you might not be 100% sure you got the stuff, but you could give it a shot if you had the right setup.
Okay, and then the thing I'll say to the guys as we're walking away is, do you think they knew Elysium about the werewolf?
As in, do you think they were setting us up?
You think?
If they wanted to kill us, you think they'd do it cleaner than that? But I don't know.
I doubt that all those clans or sects or whatever the hell in that place are all friendly with each other. I mean, hell, we could just be pawns in some goddamn power play.
They could be screwing us from the top, but it seems to me,
if I'm going to get screwed, it's going to be from the bottom. God damn it!
Well,
That's right.
whoever the voice
Miles
on the phone was,
he's powerful, a powerful bottom. And
whoever the voice on the phone was who claimed to be Stu and corresponded to Stu and Brenda's phone, he's the one that sent you to the park. So are you now theorizing that he works for the Camarilla and Elysium?
No.
don't seem
I
likely.
think we're talking about maybe multiple houses within Elysium, and that's one of them theoretically could be in cahoots with the Barfly.
Seems to me that I would as against the anarchs as Churchill Jackson was, and as bad a look for him as it is that one of his own was a mole on the inside potentially, hence us getting pulled in. It would seem that he, and as cliquey as these vampires seem to be, where they're all out for themselves, they're all out for their little families and clans. Seems to me that if one clan is trying to get one over on another clan, that they probably want to get one over on werewolves even more than that. So as if they don't want us poaching in their territory, they probably want werewolves poaching in their territory even less. So a vampire working with a werewolf would probably be something that would set them off and something that they might like to know.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, surely we have to report what's happened because we need help with the collateral damage and the fallout of this. But is there anybody? Jesus,
Started to talk in that voice. Is there anybody? Miles asks.
You died last night. Relax.
Yeah.
Miles asks.
I think Miles is like coughing and stuff. Like,
if there's anybody in Elysium that we for sure don't want to tell, and if we don't have really any evidence, he suggests that we just go in and report what's going on, and that like we're a little in over our heads at this point.
I want to talk to Churchill Jackson.
And look, Miles, I know you like I know you like your adopted sire, but I don't trust her.
Me neither.
I mean,
well,
she rubbed me the wrong way too, but she's got a laugh that's very infectious.
She's the only one who's guaranteed to be at Elysium because she is the prince of the city currently. Mm-hmm. The others may or may not be. Churchill Jackson is available via a number he gave you on a card.
I think that maybe that's the move, is to try to hit him up on that number.
All right. Okay. And meet outside of Elysium even.
If he is outside of Elysium.
Here's the one thing, which is that I really want to keep this phone. And if we call him from this cell phone, I'm afraid he's going to confiscate it because they don't want us to have technology.
Call from the payphone.
Call from a payphone if we can.
Are there still payphones in the city?
Pittsburgh's many payphones. Pittsburgh is the last municipality to maintain a strict payphone for every 3 blocks.
I mean, he gave us a number. Do I still have a cell phone?
No, all of your cell phones were taken from you. So you could
go into a 24-hour Subway sandwich shop and ask if we can use their phone.
I think walking along here, and it's no later than probably 8:20, 8:30 at night, you can definitely find a place where you can go in and use a phone. So, and I think that there even are some pay phones because this is the world of darkness. It's not our world, and there's all this like leftover remnants of the Pittsburgh that was this like rusting, steel town kind of milieu. So I think you do find like a place where there are like grubby fast food restaurants that are open late at night, and between them there's like a little like payphone. And do you want to call the number that Churchill gave you?
Yes.
Great. A guy answers the phone and goes, Lonergan's.
This is Curtis calling for Churchill Jackson.
You said your name was Curtis?
Yes, sir.
Can you make it to Lonergan's Irish Pub in Shadyside in the next hour?
Knowing the geography of Pittsburgh, can I?
You could, yeah.
Okay.
See you there.
Okay. Click.
He's not in Elysium.
Where is he?
Would I know this place? Is this a divey sort of spot?
It's a divey sort of spot. Shadyside's actually a really refurbished kind of like hipstery section of town. You don't really know of a lot of like Irish pubs down there. So yeah, this will have to be a dive spot. It sounds like another throwback.
Okay. Yeah, I know the spot. It's walking distance.
Yeah, no problem. It'll only take you, I think, something like maybe like 45 minutes.
Are we cutting through our haven by any chance to get there?
No, the haven's on the other side of the city, on the other side of downtown.
Okay.
I know.
All right.
Nice to have a snack.
It'd be nice to have a snack.
It would.
Well, though, because they don't give a shit about animals, do they?
They don't. No.
Can I can Jen go on a little safari and find like a squirrel or a bird or something and eat it?
Okay. Give me, as you travel, you want to do this, right?
Yes.
Okay, give me a
Discreetly,
composure.
hopefully.
Give me a composure plus animal handling roll. And that is going to be a difficulty 3 because, you're just kind of out on the street. You're kind of like hunting as you travel. So it could be a little tricky.
Okay, this isn't going to go well. Total failure.
Okay, great. Like you guys are like really having a bad trip because you're like all walking along like hungry, like your clothes are like ripped. I mean, like Miles is covered in blood, and Jen is like literally like leaping at rats that she sees like along the side of the street, and digging through trash like looking for animals. Unfortunately, you find none. But what you do find after not too long a walk is a place called Lonergan's Irish Pub, and it is in fact like on either side there's like a froyo place and like a ramen place, and then there's this old like just the awning is dirty like brick building that looks like a classic Irish pub.
I want to take stock of how Miles is like his clothes are literally in werewolf shredded tatters. I've got blood all over me. We are a sight. We're a sorry sight.
You are a sight. You are a sight. I mean, it's a Saturday night now. You're out on the street in an area of town that has like some traffic, but nobody. I mean, it ain't New York, but people still don't seem to be staring at you. Jen, you're pretty presentable.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a Goodwill or something, or a Salvation Army or something nearby?
Unfortunately, you are at the location now. You don't see any immediately nearby.
Would I know?
Do I need to go in? And you guys can hang out?
I just feel like it's a bad look showing up to the one guy who really was adamant about breaking the masquerade, all covered with blood and shredded and looking like monsters.
Sure. What if I went in?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll say this. So what if I went in, I met up with him, I asked him to go in the back, and you guys can meet us around?
Yeah, there's part of me that thinks if we're trying to pull the wool over this guy's eyes, we're only going to get in hotter water.
Sounds good. Yeah, I like that. I like that plan. Yeah, let's see if he'll meet us round back.
Great. So, Jen, you enter, and there's the typical Saturday night crowd, which is a little depressing. But and it hasn't quite picked up yet because it's only about 8:30 to 9 o'clock. There's a big, beefy, kind of balding, redheaded guy behind the counter. And way in the back, you go up a little bit of stairs, you go back to where, the pool table is and stuff like that. You just see his eyes, pure white, looking out of the darkness, and you recognize him in his big collared suit under like a leather jacket. It's Churchill Jackson.
Cool.
Jen feels pretty uncomfortable because this is maybe the second time in her entire life she's ever been in a dive bar. So she kind of gives a nod to the bartender out of awkwardness, which I'm sure confuses him, and then moves forward to Churchill.
Okay. Where's Curtis?
We need you to meet us around back.
Okay. He stands up. Follow me. And he walks past the restrooms in the back, out a back door, into a parking lot where there's like a dumpster, and there's actually a mortal just kind of like already at 9 o'clock at night, like throwing up in the back. Like, and Churchill looks at him and goes, "Get lost." And the guy goes and walks back into the bar. And then Churchill's like, "All right."
Can I like go out to the? I don't know. Is there like an area that they might have been waiting, or
we
were
step
they
out of the
there?
shadows.
Yeah.
You two look like shit.
Well, we've seen some shit, that's for damn sure.
We've seen worse, and we would look a lot worse. We got set up.
It sounds like it. We saw what happened at the Heathens Clubhouse. We were wondering about your progress, and then we found Jen's car in the park this morning.
What do you mean you saw what happened at the Heathens Clubhouse?
Well, you know, we don't control the police, but we definitely have people inside the police.
Oh, yeah, good. Well, you know, we've been nothing but courteous to them, so good to know.
So, what am I looking at here? How bad did you guys fuck this up?
Well, we moved. I don't know. About as bad as you can get when you get attacked by a goddamn werewolf.
We learned. You sent us after this barfly character.
Yeah, no one goes to Shinley Park.
What do you mean?
The kindred avoid that place like the plague. Everyone knows that one of those things makes its den there.
Everyone except us. You didn't think that was pertinent information?
Well, how did you end up there?
We were following the lead that you forced us to chase.
Now tell me step by step what happened.
We went.
And you guys can tell him. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Jen gets frustrated and walks kind of over, and it's just sort of like.
She's had a rough night.
Do you tell him everything?
Well, let's see.
What do we omit?
I'm trying to think. Well, let me see if I can run through it and omit what I think would. We followed the leads you gave us. The barfly, the heathens. We went to their hideout, as you know, seeing if we could pump them for information, but they got wise to us. Not their first time dealing with people like us. As it turns out, the big cheese over at the Heathens is the father of a fellow named Stu Headley, otherwise known as the Barfly. He's been having them do odd jobs for a while now, it seems. Probably his own work or the work of his network of friends. But the
that
Heathens
tracks with what we know. The Heathens have been present in some anarch operations.
I don't know if the Heathens are going to be able to recover for a little bit, but we did get his telephone number.
I'm sorry, Curtis. Curtis.
Who's this guy again? What's his fucking
Churchill Jackson. He's the sheriff.
Mr. Jackson. Do you happen to know anything? Did you know that you were sending us into the jaws of a goddamn werewolf? And if so, why the hell didn't you tell us about it? You trying to kill us?
I still don't know how you ended up in the park. So you had the Barfly's phone number in a phone.
I joined Jen. Giving him the cold shoulder.
Curtis, handle this dope.
We tried to set up a meeting so we could get the drop on him and bring him to you. That was the location that he selected.
The location that he selected.
Location he offered. It seemed as good as any other to us.
And what type of sway did you have over this meeting? Did you have a hostage? Did you have anything that could make him meet where you wanted to meet?
He believed that we might have had his father, but I don't know if that information was believable enough.
Where is
to
his
choose
father?
the location? His location on
The father? Oh, Curtis. I think he's.
They're somewhere discreet.
there's someone.
They're dead.
They're dead.
They're dead.
But discreetly dead.
So you
Let's
let
just say they
yourself
might have had
be
an act.
talked into a trap. And there was a lot of collateral damage. You were a bit sloppy.
I'm going to kind of come back
this.
into the group and go, look, we're doing the best we can. As you know, we don't really know what the fuck we're doing. Why are you even sending us on this mission to begin with?
If we knew we were walking into a werewolf den, I don't think we would have said yes to his little arrangement.
Look, this was Adelaide's idea. I didn't think that Kindred 2 weeks old should be sent on something this important either, but I also didn't think you'd walk in the front door of a motorcycle gang's clubhouse and start whooping ass.
Yeah, well, we did. And now they're all dead and we're still standing.
It was
If
Adelaide's
you give me
idea?
a mission, then I like to follow orders to see it through to its completion. But if you don't give me all the relevant intelligence, then there's no way that I can do what you send me to do.
Yeah!
I'm not angry that you got attacked by a werewolf or that you were a little sloppy. I'm angry that you let yourself be tricked by this guy. You got to be smarter than these people. Do you understand? Or you're not going to last very long. Let me tell you something. Do you know how many kindred last 5 years after they've been embraced?
How many?
Less than 10%. It's harder to be a vampire than it is to be immortal. You have weaknesses now. You got to be smarter than everybody else. Look, I'm aware that there's some CCTV.
Looking at the ground, like, yeah, maybe kicking it.
Okay, fucked up, I guess. Just like
CCTV
I everything else.
I fucked up the car. I can't do nothing right.
Are you really doing? I mean, you can. Do you feel?
That's definitely going on in my head, and I was like, and maybe. I mean, this is like going back into full like self-recriminating junkie mode. Just like fuck up everything. Everything falls through my hands. I try, and nothing turns out right.
Can I kind of intercede? I'm still feeling obstinate.
Mm-hmm.
Be like,
okay.
Look, I don't trust Adelaide, and frankly, I don't trust you. We are going on basically no information. You tell us a code name and send us to a location. How is this our fault?
This is a test, like everything else. If you had succeeded safely and effectively, then you would be given more free reign, more freedom to live your own lives as you wanted. This was an opportunity for you, and it still can be. But you have to tell me how we're going to solve this. The CCTV, a little bit of the collateral damage. Look, that happens in these kinds of dust-ups, all right? And it's my job to keep it quiet. So, Curtis, I can help you do that because my rep is on the line here right now. Do you understand? I adopted you as my responsibility. But you have to tell me how we're going to fix this. You need to bring in the barfly, or you need to find some hard evidence on how he's connected to the other anarchs. He has to tell us something. We already knew about the werewolf in the park.
Okay. Yeah. This sort of like paternal, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed kind of thing is like really hitting. It's like, okay, I won't let you down again. You gave me a chance. We'll bring it to you.
Do you need help?
We'll figure something out.
It's okay to ask me for help, but don't ask Adelaide. I don't trust her.
Why don't you trust her?
Well, I don't know. I mean, she's the prince of the city all of a sudden. This is chosen by the Camarilla higher-ups. She's only been a kindred for something like 20 years. It doesn't make sense. How did that happen?
It was her
And
idea.
you can
to
go
put
ahead
it
and
out
tell
here.
her that I said that, Mr. Vanderbuck, because she already knows I'm thinking it.
Some people get whatever they want all the time.
It was
Some
her
people gotta
idea.
grab the scraps that are left over.
She's a Malkavian. Do you know what that means?
Huh?
No.
She belongs to a clan of vampires whose blood carries madness. That's why she gets a lot of leeway in terms of doing things creatively. People think that the Malkavians have some sort of cosmic insight that allows them to, think outside the box. I think she was dangerous before she became prince, and she sure the fuck is about 10 times as dangerous now.
The leader of all the vampires in Pittsburgh is... Everyone knows she's insane?
That's right. It's looked at as a feature, not a bug. But not by me.
She sent us because she wants us to fucking die, doesn't she?
She wouldn't do that to me.
I don't know.
Miles, you're delusional.
I don't want to be a pawn in her little game of personal enjoyment. I don't want to get laughed at by her again.
Then help me. Help me help you. We bring this guy in. You guys get more free reign, more privileges. We increase our power base in the city. It'll help us. I promise you that.
I promise you that we'll do it. Help us then. Let's take this guy out.
Let's see. All right. So come with me. And he has this like big, like long, like brown, like 70s sedan, and he wants you to get inside.
Is there anyone else in the car that we can see?
Yeah, there's a guy driving. And he kind of nods at Churchill Jackson, like a black guy in casual clothes. He does not look like Kindred.
Okay. I give a little call Ruby over, and it's like, she rides with me.
I did not think that your blood would manifest that particular condition. Sure. Put her in the back. And you see that he's kind of like, actually make an insight roll.
Okay. Just straight insight?
Yeah, I think it would be wits plus insight.
Good, because I have no insight.
Could I also make this roll? Because I feel pretty suspicious of this dude.
You absolutely may.
Success. One success.
Success.
Okay, so he's like one success for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
All you can tell is that he's kind of uncomfortable by the fact that you obviously are using animalism.
Okay.
And I can't tell you why or give you any more insight right now, but he has you guys all get in the car, and then he drives until you come to a police station. And he gets out and is like, follow me.
How long was the drive?
You could have done many things on that drive if you want. It was probably 15 minutes.
Could I ask him, how many other vampires have you sired or adopted? Churchill?
Me?
Yeah.
None.
It's just
the old
Curtis?
prince had a prohibition against it. It's why some of those anarchs, the anarchs that created you, some of them rebelled.
You're not allowed to, none of you are allowed to sire?
That's right. The old prince was against increasing the population. He thought it would be bad for the city. I mean, you can see how much chaos is created by just a handful of us.
So how many people are in your order?
Camarilla members in Pittsburgh?
No, I mean, do you think that you're the same type of vampire as Adelaide? Don't you have factions within factions?
Are you talking about my clan?
Your clan, yeah.
Well, not that it's any of your business, but I happen to belong to one of the traitor clans. Yes.
Traitor?
The Anarch movement is composed of several core clans, one of whom is the Gangrel clan. The Wanderers, the Beasts. Some people call them the Wolves. The Gangrel weren't always part and parcel belong to the Anarch movement. They used to be a part of the Camarilla. When they betrayed the Camarilla and turned to the Anarch side, I stayed with the Camarilla. So I'm a really popular guy.
I guess that makes me a pretty popular guy too.
Yes, Curtis, you might say that. When people find out what kind of blood you carry in the Camarilla, they're going to assume that you're a traitor. But that's what Adelaide thought was ingenious about using you guys. The Anarchs will trust you once they find out what kind of blood you carry, because Miles is of Bruja blood. They're also one of the core clans of the Anarch movement. And Jen is a thin blood, who are normally not accepted within the Camarilla at all.
What does that mean?
It means that you're the perfect Judas Goats. We could send you into an Anarch meeting, and as soon as you prove your blood pedigree, they will not suspect you as being Camarilla agents.
There's a lot of talk of sending us places and having us do things for you.
Is that all part of this blood debt that we've got? You guys, you give us this gift, and we're basically your foot soldiers?
That's right. That is how it works. The Camarilla is a hierarchy. You are soldiers at the bottom level. If you do what you're told, you can move up. You could reach levels of power you can't imagine.
I'm sure
But most people fuck it up in the first 5 years.
All right.
What did you say, Jen?
I'm sure they say that to all the soldiers right before they're murdered.
That really hits with Curtis too. He's like really just like stroking Ruby a little too aggressively. Just scratching. Ruby,
Now,
Man.
now you're at the police station.
all right. We gonna be safe in there?
We're not going in.
Oh.
And then his driver gets up and starts walking in. We're going to get some information.
All right.
Who is that guy? One of your ghouls?
Yeah, he is. He's loyal to me.
Is he a cop?
Yes, he is. But you don't see him. You don't remember him. And I'm not telling you his name. Because there's another detective in the Pittsburgh Police Department that I don't want knowing has a rival inside the department. I'm trusting you with a lot here.
Miles' mind is blown. He's not typically privy to vampire politics.
Yeah, this is one of the bigger info dumps that we've got. I'm like, yeah, okay. Trying to log this all the way.
Yeah, I'm sure right now your brains feel really full.
We can keep
Mind blown, right? I wouldn't tell you any of this stuff if I didn't think I could end you in a heartbeat. I'm kidding. After a little while, the guy comes back out and he's got like a stack of photocopies and stuff and hands them to Curtis, and to Churchill. And so it looks like someone interesting stopped by the crime scene at the Heathens Clubhouse right after you guys left. A guy driving a very specific type of bike kind of swung by, and some of the officers on the scene noticed this bike.
You don't say.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, we've even determined the make and model of this particular motorcycle. It is a V-twin. What is this thing? Crocker V-twin. Yeah, 1940. Wow, now, not everybody rides around on something like that, do they?
Nice.
Does Jen know that with that information, is there like a license plate as well, or is it just the make and model?
It is. There is no license plate, and
Okay,
the
never mind.
cops did not catch the license plate. But he's going to tell you everything about this bike really quickly because someone caught a look at it and noticed it. A Crocker V-twin big tank, and it is like a 1940 models motorcycle. A guy drove by riding one of those, and one of the officers clocked it. So how many places in the city service bikes like that?
Vintage motorcycles.
Very few, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Why don't we do a little digging?
All right.
He can take you. He and his car can take you wherever you want to go.
All right. I don't know. You just want to go to one of these vintage bike mechanic shops?
Would they even be open now?
Probably not. That's the other problem with being a vampire. Everything's closed.
Or we could find out who owns it, maybe. So hold on. I just need a out of game talk recapping of the clues. So, there's an Jackson's got an inside man at the police department, and he's come back with this new evidence that a very specific vintage motorcycle visited the crime scene after we had left.
Guy had a helmet on. You're reading the description in the police report, a photocopy of the police report, Curtis. Guy had a helmet on, leather jacket. It was impossible to get his identity, but one of the cops was like, what kind of bike is that? They wrote down a description, and then they figured it out.
Right. So that's one lead. We also have, although I guess we don't know his whereabouts, but we know there is the actual barfly. We got his number, I guess, still.
We have his number, and it's presumably this is him and his bicycle, his bike.
Give me the phone.
I'm sorry?
You said you had his number.
Oh, I was talking at a game.
Oh, sorry. Okay, you haven't.
That.
No,
but we did.
That's
we
important.
said we called him, but we didn't specify.
I'm not going to blow up that Jen has a phone.
Okay, you're fine. You're fine.
You said this place was replete with public phones.
Sure. So, Churchill has either forgotten that you mentioned the call, or he's not gonna take you to task on it. But that's fine. Go ahead.
So those are two.
Yeah, out of character. We're just talking about the leads. Yeah. So you have the phone, and you have this vintage motorcycle. I mean, it doesn't seem like the best lead, but maybe you could call a couple.
Call in
repair shops.
Hey, looking. We could get an address maybe, or some more information from a shop by calling and pretending to be him.
I also say, slipping back in game to Jackson, I say,
what if we run into this werewolf fella again? I mean, what do we just run? I mean, the thing ripped my goddamn arm off.
Casper?
How the hell should I know?
Yeah.
Casper. It's me, Jenny. Don't worry, Jenny. It's me, Casper. Of course, kids.
He stays in the park. I don't know. Did Tremere have some kind of theory that there's some sort of primal energy in the park that werewolves feed on? I don't know.
Are there other werewolves in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, probably. Don't go in that park anymore.
You don't have to tell us twice.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay.
Look, a lot of this tracking down of Stu would be a lot easier if I had access to a computer.
Yeah, that can't happen.
Why not?
Because, as I told you, you are a foot soldier, and you are a foot soldier in the Camarilla. Since the fall of London, we have abandoned digital communication.
She can download the databases on gigabytes.
Sort of what Miles said.
Has anyone talked to you about the Second Inquisition?
Yes, we've had the talk.
Look, I'm not some asshole with a Facebook page. I might be a foot soldier, but I'm a smart foot soldier, and I'm discreet. Do you actually want more power? Then give me a computer.
Fine. And he tells his driver something, and a little while later, you pull up to this library. It's like a public library, and it looks like it's all closed down for the night. And he gets out and he's like, "Come on, your computer's right over here."
Dude, you're getting Adele.
Oh my god.
I hope you're familiar with Windows NT because
Okay.
Jen sits down and plays King's Quest for 2 hours.
He actually has keys to this public library spot for some reason, and he lets you in. And it's like, I mean, it's literally like, there's the kids section with little yellow tables, but it's all dark right now and kind of creepy. And he walks you past the Jacqueline Steele bodice rippers that are on a little spinning rack. And finally he walks you back to, yes, some Dell desktops that are sitting in these cubicles. Yeah. And he puts in a password, and you've got mail. You're online.
Yeah, baby.
Hacked in, baby.
This stream is sponsored by Dell. Obviously, the best place where you can purchase your desktop and laptop.
I'm on a Dell right now.
So I will expect some Alienware headsets anytime soon, I think.
Ooh.
Jen, what do you need to research right now? What are you going to look into?
Well, my thought was if it was possible to, since I also have a social media company, I'm wondering if there's a way to find, because I'm assuming all of these places have social media pages. They have business pages or whatever.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe I don't even really need to do anything super fancy tech wise, but maybe I can get a bunch of. Is there any way that I can narrow down what? I'm sure there's only a handful of these.
I think it makes sense. I think that if Jen is given a little time and she's good at research in addition to, doing the technical side of things, right? She's a smart gal. So why doesn't she give me an intelligence plus, I'm not going to make it technology because anybody can do a Google search. Give me an intelligence plus academics role to see how good she is at researching and finding information quickly. And, she can't fail it and get no information. She can just fail it and take forever, or fail it and, maybe get too many answers. So let's go ahead and give it a shot.
Okay. Success.
How many?
Just one.
Just one success. Okay. This is just a Google search. Here's what I'm going to say. With one success, it takes you hours. So do the other vampires want to do anything while you were doing this?
It's taking her 6 hours, did you just say?
No, I said it's taking her hours, not 6 hours. It's taking her a lot, though.
I think Miles would turn to Curtis, who's maybe an ex, or at least some knowledgeable about potentially storming a base, and sort of say, is there any
preparation that we need to do in case this becomes a physical confrontation at this bike shop, if we gotta go there?
I guess we got a couple of guns.
We got guns. It depends on how we want to play it. I mean, best case, we get to choose where the fight happens. And not
Can I give you a little advice?
Bonehead trap. Yeah, sure.
Shootouts are a little conspicuous, I feel like.
Next time, don't knock on the front door and start busting heads. Get in without anybody seeing you. Find some information that will make Adelaide happy and get off your back. And take it back to Elysium. Figure out who the other anarchs are, where they haven. Get us some morsel of information beside a phone number of a guy who tricked you into a werewolf attack.
Well, maybe we
don't need to bring him the guy. We just need to bring back some info.
Yeah. So are you talking? Are we going to Mission Impossible this thing?
Okay. Either drop in and eavesdrop, or send one of us in to actually talk to him.
And keep in mind, this is just the guy's bike shop. It's not necessarily his haven.
Right. We could
Do you
use
have anything yet, Miss Brown?
Do I?
Yeah, it's been like 2 hours. But Jen Brown, you finally found like this message board. You had, and they're talking about like how Costa's motorcycle repair in McKeesport is actually the best shop for vintage repairs and sales in the Pittsburgh area. You cannot find a website for Costa's motorcycle repairs. You just see it talked about on these message boards.
So do I, through my research, do I find any information about who owns it?
The message board commenters say that they only take select clientele and that you have to get a business card to call them up. And there are guys on the message boards like, give me the number. And other guys are like, no, man, I can't just send anybody over there.
Okay. I'm going to need more time and the ability to correspond with these people.
Churchill Jackson says, look, I'll go and try to clean up your mess as best as I can. I think you have possibly tonight and one more night to follow up on this lead, and I can't protect you anymore. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. You're welcome. I'll leave my driver with you for now. And he walks out of the library.
All right. So all right, we got a chance. And all we got to do is bring back some information about the anarchs in the city. Now we got to figure out how we're going to play it. Do we try to use the shop to figure out where his haven is, or to set up a meeting?
In my research, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
I was going to ask, in my research, is it fair that I've learned a lot about this motorcycle? Basically, what I want to do is try to DM one of these motorcycle nerds.
Mm-hmm.
Prove that I'm the real deal and get the number.
Ooh, I really like that. I think that's totally possible. So we're doing a little bit of catfishing here.
Yes.
Why don't you give me a manipulation plus technology roll? How good is Jen at like pretending to be someone else online? She's she's quickly reading articles about vintage bikes and stuff. And she sees where this guy was like, hey, DM me the number. And this other guy was like, sorry, man, I can't send anybody over there. That's the guy that you're going to need to DM.
I got 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay. You've sent him a DM and you haven't gotten a response yet. And time is ticking by. Hours are ticking by.
Okay. Can I say that I sent that on my phone? Because the deal with library computers, right, is that they just wipe it as soon as you log off.
Yeah, you sent it on actually Brenda's phone.
On Brenda's phone, basically.
Yeah, so yes, you did. As soon as Churchill was gone, you whipped out Brenda's phone and you used that instead. So yeah, you've sent it on that phone. Now keep in mind, at this point, it's probably like 11 o'clock at night, maybe getting on to midnight. So you're not getting a response back from this guy that you've DM'd. So you guys could. Like, he gave you another night. He basically said, look, you probably have all of tomorrow night. You could head back to your haven and you could kind of get ready. You could do any number of things. He extended your deadline a little bit. So let me know what you would like to do. Oh, yeah. Actually, it occurs to me that maybe Jen should make a intelligence roll and add technology to it as well.
Okay. Intelligence plus tech. That's my best roll. Okay. If I fail this, I'm gonna be so sad. 1 success.
Yeah, you think that, oh, wait, what if Brenda's phone has Costa's number in it?
Oh.
But you scroll through and you don't find something listed as Costa's.
Nothing else that would potentially
stand out as strange to you, or possibly that place? Not with 1 success.
Okay.
I want to get straight. We got a prolonged deadline, but the clock is ticking.
Jen, would you like to spend? I'm so sorry, Curtis, for interrupting you. Jen, would you like to spend willpower to re-roll the failed dice?
What happens? Can I get willpower back?
Eventually, yes, by achieving your kind of convictions and things like that, you can.
Achieving my convictions. Oh boy.
Not cheating, achieving.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Acting them out.
I have such little willpower, but I also do think that probably makes it more narratively interesting because I might kill someone when I'm feeding on them. So why not? They're all going to be hunger die.
Oh, you can't. Sorry, you can't re-roll hunger die with a willpower expenditure. So this has all been I've taken you to the side for nothing.
Oh, sorry.
Curtis.
I rolled. Sorry, my intelligence plus tech is 8. I'm 3 hunger. So I have 5 I could re-roll.
Oh yeah. You're welcome to do that. Go ahead. If you spend that willpower, you can do that.
So I can re-roll all 5?
Yeah, or just the ones that failed last time.
So I don't remember what that was.
You said you got 1 success, so
yeah,
probably was that a hunger die success or was that a?
I don't remember.
That's okay. Let's call it a regular success. So you have 4 die you can re-roll.
Okay. I got 2 more successes.
Okay. Interesting. You don't find anything in the phone that says Costas. You don't find anything that seems strange except for one name seems a little strange. It says Mr. Fix-It.
Mr. Fix-It.
Mr. Fix-It. It seems odd. Everybody else has a one-word normal name like Stu, Russ, Rory, but this one says Mr. Fix-It.
I'm going to text Mr. Fix-It.
Okay.
I'm going to say, hey, are you up?
You up?
Send nude. Trade nudes.
Hey, are you up? It takes a minute or two, but then dots come across the screen and you get the text back for you always.
Okay, I'm going to loop the guys in.
All right.
And say, I might have just found something.
So you're thinking that this is that Costas place?
It's something. I don't know. Maybe.
So I want to know our play here. How are we using this to our advantage? Are we going to try to go to this place and find out where this barfly cat havens up? Are we going there to try to lure him to that place, to the garage? Are we going there to shake down the garage owner to learn more from him? Are we posing as him to try to get information out of him? I don't know what I'm doing.
Another text has come through. It says, "Need a look at the inventory?" ?
We think to the guys.
Yeah.
We think Mr. Fix-It is the man in charge of this bike shop.
That's right.
Okay. I wonder if. Oh yeah, no, but it's from a certain number, so he assumes this is. What if you pose as someone introducing him to a new client?
Oh, like a friend of mine needs a bike.
And, yeah, and one of us pose as a new client, and that's our kind of way in. And you'll set it up that you'll
our way in
send
to get
him
what?
along, send him or her along. Huh?
Our way in to get what? That conversation achieves what? We get information about his other client.
It means that we get in the door of this place and face to face with this person without any conflict initially.
And then maybe we can, are we thinking that maybe they have like a client registry of some kind and we could find out where Stu lives, or?
Yeah, we can find out. We could maybe find out that.
You can have one of us posing as this client, just talking motorcycles while other people go and gobble up info, or abduct him when the time is right. Or maybe we find there's a secret layer in the moto shop. Who knows? We don't really know.
Could be,
but at least we can go look at it under this guise.
We could see if we could find a place where this guy makes deliveries to Stu Headley.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, if we don't, the other options are like just posing as someone all the way through, or organize some meeting where we're ourselves, and I'm not sure how to do that one.
So it's info. So the goal is info gathering. We're posing as buyers to go to see if we can get information about the whereabouts of Stu Headley, or if Stu's going to come there that night or the following night.
Right, or if it's a front for something. If maybe it's like
who does Mr. Fix-It think is up?
Brenda.
Stu's
the Hell's Angels lady.
She's dead, though.
She is dead.
She did.
So he does not know that, unless he does, and he's playing possum.
I don't think he would know yet, though, right? Because that was.
Then if he doesn't know, then the lie is probably strenuous. So, yeah, I mean, what about saying like I've got a buyer, some old guy having a
midlife crisis kind of thing,
or like a 3/4 life crisis. That wants a vintage motorcycle because his dad had. He wants something that he rode in when he was 15, and
then maybe I can
Mr. Fix-It just texted ?
Okay, so maybe what I'm going to say is basically something along the lines of what let's say Miles just said, with a sort of like flirty and I want like a finder's fee type of thing, winky face send.
Yeah.
That's so Brenda.
It's just so Brenda.
It's classic Brenda.
You want to that he's looking to buy a specific type of bike, or are you just saying he's looking to buy
tell him
3/4 life crisis?
Tell him I want to see the inventory, but if he has Lee, what is it? Hold on. Enfield motorcycle. An Enfield motorcycle, 1955.
Okay. Yeah, he's looking for a 1955 Enfield. Do you want to text that to him?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the flirty finder's fee addendum.
You get a text back almost immediately that says tonight ?
Yes.
Yeah, unless Yeah, he's like all hopped up on, I don't know, can I say he's like all hopped up on some crazy shit? I think it might be like a
No, because then I have to play that.
I have to play that.
Just say I'm leaving town. I'm leaving town tomorrow.
Okay, you text all that?
Yeah.
You sent that? Okay. You get a text back that says come out to the shop on Robertson Road. Come out to the shop on Robertson Road.
Okay, I'm gonna say he's gonna meet you there. I got other shit to do, but I'll see you soon. Winky face. And I want that finder's fee! ! Or something.
You get a heart emoji back.
There we go.
And then an eggplant emoji and a squirt emoji.
And Jen goes, "Oh God."
Oh, flustered.
Whoa. The phone lands in the pot.
Whoever's on the other side is, that's disgusting. And hack, frankly. That's hack emoji use.
Hey.
So
whatever gets the job done.
What's the plan? You can go out there now. You can go out to McKeesport. From knowing the area that it's about a 30-minute drive and that it is a very rundown suburb. Normally suburbs are a little better off than the city. Not McKeesport. It is a shithole. Sorry, people that live there that are watching. But in the world of darkness, it's a shithole.
Yeah, do we have Churchill's driver take us down there? And in the meantime, could you potentially use Google Maps to narrow down where on Robertson and McKeesport a garage might be?
I probably could, couldn't I?
Because we don't have a precise address, don't we? Yeah.
I think that you could, and I think we'll even forego the necessary technology roles. I think Jen has something like that under control. Robertson isn't that long of a road. It is a little bit out in the boonies, kind of behind McKeesport. So you go through all this like really rundown tract housing. It's now like almost 3 a.m. There's nobody out. It's just dark on a Saturday night. Eventually you go up into the hills and now you're driving on these like country roads that have like a lot of foliage. And finally the driver stops the car at this little stretch of highway where there's a lot of bushes. There's a driveway leading off into the trees, and there is an old sign that says Costas that you would almost miss if you weren't looking for it.
Cool. You want
the driver looks back at you guys and goes, "Should I pull up here?
You just wait here." Yeah.
You want me to wait here?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want me to go in there with you, Miles? Be your son?
I'm hoping though, like real quickly, some kind of detour could have been made to put me in some slightly more presentable clothes as opposed to a torn up jacket and blade.
That seems extremely reasonable. As we said, hours passed at the library.
Yeah. Okay.
Churchill's sedan has changes of clothes in the back. So the only thing I'm going to say is that you're now wearing some Churchill Jackson wear. So it's like it looks a little bit dated.
That's fine because he's an old guy trying to recapture his youth. All right.
So, my name is Hal Lundquist.
I guess
And
I should
I
be
like
writing this down.
Brenda sent me.
All right, Curtis, are you coming in with me?
You want me to?
Yeah, Jen. I mean, is anybody coming in with? Are you guys coming in with me, or is one of you guys trying to go around the back or something?
I would stick out like a sore thumb, I think.
Do you want to pose as my far too young to be my wife while Curtis slinks in the back?
Oh, sure.
All right.
Oh, God.
So I'm slinking in the back?
I don't know. It's too scary. We're not wizards and fighters. I don't know how to do this.
Is there any?
No, you're a Bruja vampire whose fists can do lethal damage.
Exactly.
Guys, you can
maybe
do
on the
this.
way I say something like, "You could take me in with you if you want. I can sneak in if you want." But maybe pivot if you don't have that. Maybe ask for the type of motorcycle that we know this other guy has, the Croker V-twin from the 40s. And if you don't have one, in stock, he might be able to give you the information of somebody who'd be willing to sell, if you understand.
Yeah, that's a good idea. All right.
Yeah, I'll sneak around the back. Or me and the driver can just hang in the car, and if anybody that we don't want around rolls up in the intervening time, I'll signal you.
Why don't I do that and you sneak around back?
Okay, so
I'll just go in myself.
So okay, let me just get the plan. Miles is going in through the front to engage with whoever's there. Curtis is sneaking around back. Is that correct?
I don't kind of know what sneaking in the back achieves. Like,
okay.
Do we want to search it in some way?
I guess the only thing we would be looking for is if they have some sort of like record of people that have bought from them and their information, apart from their phone numbers, I suppose.
Yeah, that would be.
There's no this place is not just a like upfront vintage motorcycle place. Like,
sure.
I mean, it could be, but it could also be something else. But we don't really know, I suppose. So that's what sneaking, I think, would do, is to determine anything like that.
Cool. If you want to be lookout, you go in the front, I go in the back.
Okay, great. So Miles is going in through the front, and
vampire sneaks.
Curtis is going in through the back, and Jen, where are you going?
I'm staying in the car and I'm keeping lookout.
Staying in the car. Okay, so Miles, I'm going to be a kind God.
Get pink. Get pink.
Yeah, I didn't even have to remind you. So go ahead and give me another rouse roll to get pink as you walk up.
That's just one, and we go in like this, and guess what? It's a success.
Okay, so in the world of the game, an ambulance goes by, but it's very fast, and then it's gone. And then Miles, you begin walking up this driveway, and as you get behind kind of the woods and the foliage, it's like blocking the view of the garage from the road.
Oh, it's a house?
It's two things. It is an enormous lot with like a fence around it that's topped with barbed wire. You can see, since it's there's been good weather, that some of their models are still out there in front of the lot, right? And then there's like what looks like a garage building, and then like a dealership building with a big glass window and like bikes inside. But on the other side of the driveway, there's a gravel drive leading off of that up to an old 2-story farmhouse with a barn behind it. Curtis,
All right.
you say that you are kind of sneaking into the bushes to kind of come around the back way?
Yeah.
Okay. Curtis, if you were doing that, do you want to come around, like, so you do a little reconnoitering and you see what's on either side. Do you want to try to come around from like the west side of the garage and the dealership, or do you want to kind of try to come around the house?
I want to try to get into the garage and the office.
Very good. So
let's say, just so I'm clear about how the animalism power works, sneaking in with a dog sounds a little tough, but if I want her to come to me, is there like in D&D, I feel like there'd be like a range for that? Do I have, if I'm a certain number of feet from her, does that affect my ability to communicate with her?
Well, that's very interesting. I think that yes, that's true, but that would be measured probably in miles, not in not like we're in one scene in one location. As your storyteller, I'm going to say you have a little leverage with where and when Ruby comes.
Okay, great. Then when I leave the car, I make sure to roll the window down, and I just say to the driver, like, for her fresh air. And then I just say, stay. And she just kind of, so wait. And if I need her, I'll ask for her. So
She
yeah.
seems a little annoyed, but okay.
I go to sneak into the office.
Okay, so you're gonna go around. So you're going around, like you're going down into bushes now. You're like really like there's almost like a little ravine past the road where the road slopes down before it slopes up again to the garage and the office. And what you're seeing is that so the garage and the office are to the north of you. They're surrounded by that big chain link barbed wire top fence. Mm-hmm. It looks like there is a huge kind of vacant lot on the west side of the garage. Okay. Like this place where all the brush has been cleared off and things like that. Okay. And then farther behind, like if you did a real big circle around, there's just a wooded hillside. So you could, it would take you longer, but you could come up and come down through that wooded hillside.
All right. I feel like Miles is going to be distracting this guy, so I'll take the long way, the longer, stealthier way.
Very good. Miles, you come up to the gate that leads through this chain link barbed wire type fence, and there's like one of those little intercoms, when people arrive at a place, and you can hit a doorbell.
I pop it.
Yeah.
What did I say my name was?
All right, so it's Lou. It's Lou. Brenda sent me. I'm here to check the motorcycles.
Oh, yeah. You're looking for an Enfield.
Well, yeah. I also want to see what you've got.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, all right. Hold on. And now you can see that like gate is openable.
Okay, I open.
Okay.
Open gate.
You walk through, and now you are walking up to this like showroom, with big glass in front of it. There are some pretty fancy bikes and cars out in the front lot. There's like some kind of big there's a Pontiac Firebird from the 90s that looks like nice and refurbished with like a bronzed paint job. There's like some exotic motorcycles that you don't really recognize with like hot, like cherry red kind of like paint jobs. So these guys custom make things. And as you walk up, a light goes on in the showroom. And now you're looking at like kind of heavy set, like beefy kind of guy. Looks to be in his like late 30s, mid 40s, but he's got like kind of a very sloped brow and kind of a little taciturn demeanor. And he opens the door to the showroom and he's like, Lou?
Hey, I just want to say right off the bat, thank you for seeing me at these crazy hours. I'm flying out of town tomorrow, and it's either tonight or 3 weeks from now, so I appreciate it.
And I reach my hand out for a shaky shake.
Oh, he shakes your hand, and I can tell you that he seems like a warm-blooded American human. And as he shakes your hand, he takes a little drag off of a joint and is like, "You want?"
Oh, look, I'm trying to relive my youth, but not like that.
He doesn't laugh at all, and he's like, "We don't have an Enfield right now, but come inside and I can show you what we got."
Well,
Okay, as we shuffle, like kind of like.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. You know, that's the one bike I had when I was younger, but I tell you what, the bike I always wish I had was, it was a blocker. Oh, fuck me. A V-twin Crocker. 19, well, geez, I don't know, late 30s, maybe early 40s model, something like that. I just think that's one of the hot shit bikes of the goddamn century.
Yeah, you're talking about one of these models, and he takes you over to this big 1940s sleek, beautiful-looking old bike. And he's like, "Yeah, one of my friends drives one of these. Yeah, takes it out every once in a while. Rides like a dream."
You tried what? This one? Is this the only one you got?
Ooh, slamming.
Look how beautiful it is.
Cherry.
Yeah, and he's kind of going into technical details about, you know, the parts and how they had to restore it and all that. Meanwhile, Curtis, how are we doing? Getting up that wooded hillside and back down to, okay, so you're coming all the way from the back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of, like, you know, running around in the woods, you are a gangrel. That's what they're made for.
That's right. I'm a critter man.
You're a critter man. So I think it's like you feel like you're back in Afghanistan, or maybe you feel like your blood is suddenly feel like you're in your environment. So you're like kind of running through the woods, like jumping around through these trees. And all I need from you is let's call it a Dex plus survival roll to see how quickly and quietly you get through there.
All right. Dexterity plus survival. 4, 5, 6. Okay. And I'm still a pretty hungry guy.
Add a die for being a gangrel, because this is some gangrel shit.
Okay. Hell yeah. 4 successes.
Whoa.
Okay, great. So I'm not even going to make you bother with any kind of stealth roll. You're like literally like
chewing around,
moving like an animal through the woods, and like finally,
Miles
like,
is right. This is like Twilight.
And now there's this big chain link fence ahead of you with the razor wire and everything, and beyond it you can see that, you know, in the moonlight, and that's really the only light you're going by right now, you can see that there's kind of a junkyard back here with a lot of old vehicles or stuff that they've thrown out. There's like a you know, old barrels and things like that.
Okay. So I'm looking at it. It's just surrounded by a fence with barbed wire.
Yeah, and then if you go through the junkyard for a little bit, you come to like the back of the office and the back of the garage.
Do I see any kind of gate or any place where I could gain?
Not back here.
Gain ingress? No.
Not back here. You'd have to climb over, or cut your way in.
Okay. It's a little more complicated than I expected. All right. Yeah. Is there a Does the fence terminate at a wall at any point?
It does not actually, because it kind of goes around the perimeter of the whole building, right? Like Miles had to come through the fence gate at the driveway. It kind of goes around the whole place. So there's even portions of the fence that are just kind of going along the side of the building.
I just had an idea. So I just scrambled through a bunch of trees and it's thickly forested around the fence. I want to find a tree that is tall and close to the fence, taller than the fence itself.
Okay, done. Yeah, your survival roll gets you at least that.
I climb the tree.
Okay, give me a dexterity or strength plus athletics roll, depending on what you think your climb style is.
Great. Okay, let's see. Athletics. It's more amateur gymnast. Okay. The film. 3 successes.
Okay. You climb up this tree and you just kind of like drop and you land inside the fence. And that's when 2 huge black
Junkyard
dogs come jumping up out of the junkyard and running toward you, barking, and then another one comes around the corner. There are 3 huge mastiffs heading toward you. Meanwhile,
okay, and don't fail me now.
Meanwhile, inside the showroom, he gets done kind of telling you about this Crocker V twin, and he looks at you and he's like, "So, what do you think?"
Gee whiz! I mean, it's a nice bike. What's it gonna run me for?
I mean, I can give you a good price for this, but I have to tack on what it costs. Some of the cost it took us to refurbish. So I could give you this 55. You said Brenda sent you over?
Yeah.
How's she doing?
She's doing great. You know Brenda.
How do you know her?
I met her at
Oh no!
a biker bar.
And that's when you hear someone come into the showroom behind you.
I lethal punch him. I punch his face into dust.
And that's where we're stopping for tonight.
Oh, he's about to get vaporized.
Guys,
how do you give Jen the slip?
This is fun. How did he give Jen the slip? How did he get into the showroom behind you? She was in the car outside, right?
Oh, okay. So
maybe this guy was already in the building.
Okay. Oh boy.
Guys, great session. You did excellently. You came back from a werewolf attack. You got a giant exposition dump. Man, I really love playing with you guys. This was so fun.
So fun.
Likewise.
Yeah.
So good. So fun.
So thanks again. Thanks for getting pink with us. I'm going to say goodbye to our players right now. Be sure to follow Ashley Burch, Thomas Middleditch, and Ross Bryant anywhere social media is sold. And good night until next week, guys. See you soon.
Hello, Humphrey.
Hi, Humphrey.
Oh,
What a jerk.
Dear boy.
Damn straight, and you're next.
that, of course, is Humphrey Carr, one of the stars of our Cthulhu series, airing Sunday at 2 p.m. Thanks for being in the chat, Humph. All right. Thanks again, you guys. I'm going to hang out and, talk to my people for a little bit.
All right. Y'all have fun.
Great.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Night.
Well, I'm gonna. Jared, how much prep work do you do before a session like this? Boy, it's hard to answer that. I always am trying to do less work if I can, because the less work you do, the more the players can improvise and do what they'd like to do, and that is good. Players should feel like they're controlling the game. But I gotta admit, I just like writing vampire setting and situations, and I think today I sent my producer and co-writer Clint a giant document. Hey Clint, I sent you a giant document about all of this stuff, and I was like, holy crap. I mean, I think that we have almost a source book of material already. It would need a lot of editing and gussing up, but yeah, more work than I should. Hey, it's Greggles. Say it's Clint. Oh, Greggles. I think I know who that is. Hi, Greg. Have you run the other? Oh, so yeah. So I love to run World Darkness. They're my favorite games from when I was, a teenager. And I've run, gosh, I might have run almost all of them. Now, Changeling, I might have run once or twice when I was 16 years old, a long time ago. But I think at some point I've run all of them, and I've even gone out of my way to run the, the new World of Darkness that came out in the early 2000s. So I've run games like Promethean, The Created. I had like a short chronicle with Promethean. So, and Mage is one of my favorites. I played Mage recently, both Mage the Awakened and Mage the Ascension. And Clint played in my Mage the Ascension game. We had fun. We did a New York in the 1980s setting for that. It was fun. Oh, Exalted is one that I haven't played. I got to be honest. I mostly stick to the World of Darkness games when it comes to my White Wolf stuff. There are so many White Wolf games that I still want to play that I never quite got over to Exalted. I know that I had a friend named Steven Johnson. I still have him. He's still my friend, who's the biggest Exalted fan in the world, and he loves that game. But I still, you know what? I haven't gotten to play Hunter. I played Hunter the Reckoning, a long chronicle in college, but I haven't played Hunter the Vigil. I would love to play Hunter the Vigil sometime. But I guess our Cthulhu game kind of covers that, because that is normal humans investigating monstrous things. So, oh, it's not sad. That's good. I wonder like how many people are willing to watch, these many hours of content we've already created. But, the thing I will promise you, Syrup Joe, or anybody else that's watching or struggling to get caught up, is that we are kind of coming to kind of a end of book 1 here. So this is chapter 7. And because I do let the players have some free reign, I don't know how many more parts there are in book 1 to kind of end like the first little arc for these guys. But it's coming. I can feel it coming soon. And then there'll be kind of another little level up period where they get some new stuff, where their unlives change a little bit, and we maybe see the city from a little different perspective, depending on what their actions are. So that should be coming pretty soon. Oh man, thank you. Thank you for saying that. This is so fun for me that the getting people like you to say thanks is just icing on the cake. I mean, it's a blast. Playing with these guys is a blast. We could play, I think, any game, and it would be a blast. But getting to play Vampire, my favorite game, that's awesome.
Outro business.
All right. Oh, yes, our outro business. Please follow Stream of Blood on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. And for any late arrivals, this show and all our shows will be available on YouTube 24 hours later. So you can join on Facebook to find the additional materials that we put up in our Facebook group. Our Stream of Blood Facebook group will have like character sheets and things like that. Some of the artwork and the background on our settings. And this is exciting. Clint informs me that we figured out how to play the theme song from Axel Kazis Taylor. So, I'm getting someone asking for a recap. Clancy, I will give you a recap very quickly, and then we will go out with our theme song. The recap is thus: they awakened. They didn't awake. They were in that coal chute under the outhouse in Shinley Park, our coterie, and they figured out right before they succumbed to the sleep of the kindred that they could maybe feed Miles a little bit of their kindred vitae to kind of awaken him. And in fact, it did work. The next night, Miles made his 3 rouse checks and he healed a level of aggravated damage. And then Jen very smartly used the phone that she had stolen from Brenda and figured out that some of the park is on CC kind of TV cameras. And it's a public park. So there's a public kind of like site that lets you look through those cameras. And she used that to see where the werewolf was and make sure the coast is clear. But as they exited the outhouse, they were all at like hunger 4 or like 3, and they were so hungry and they were acting like crazed junkies and moving around like beast-filled animals. And they caught the attention of a cop who was there because of course, the car accident in the Nissan Leaf, like when they were fleeing the werewolf. The cops had like kept someone kind of in the park or hanging around. That cop tried to stop them, but Miles once again did his I'm a hurt old man routine, and then gave the guy a good suck. He drained some blood out of the guy, got his hunger down from 4 to 3, thank God, and they made their escape. I think they made a pretty smart move, if I can editorialize a little bit. They called Churchill Jackson, who is Curtis's adoptive sire and the sheriff of the city, and he kind of told them a lot about what's going on in the city and gave them one more chance to make this right, to track down the barfly and get some information on the anarchs that the barfly is connected to. And to do that, he got information from the police department. He's got his own man in the police department, not TJ Cope, the ghoul that we've met already. He's got his own guy whose name he wouldn't even give them. And he got some information that a very rare motorcycle was spotted at the scene of the Heathens Clubhouse fight. And that motorcycle was something called a Crocker V-twin big tank, which is an old-fashioned 1940s vintage motorcycle, very rare. Using that information, Jen Brown, with her tech expertise, was able to find a phone number in Brenda's phone that seemed to match a place that would only be one of the few places that could service a place like that. They texted it. They got a very suspiciously, I'd say, late night appointment with the place. They headed out to this vintage motorcycle garage in McKeesport on the edges of Pittsburgh. Miles went in the front, posing as a interested customer that Brenda had sent along. You know, the woman that's dead that they killed and drained of all vitae. Yeah, he went in the front acting like he was an interested customer, while Curtis snuck around back and got inside through the back fence. And that's when the guard dog showed up, and the mechanic who runs the place started to ask some very pointed questions. And it looks like their cover might be blown, or maybe it's not, or maybe they're all about to hit the final death. We will find out in the next installment. And I think that is when we got to hit that hot ass theme song. What we learned tonight, this is nothing like Twilight. Yeah, I mean, aside from vampires, this is nothing like Twilight. I agree. Let's hit that music, baby. Do I need to make a rouse check to make it happen?
Hey everybody, it didn't work. I will try again next week. Thanks for being here.
I really feel like I got teased there. Ugh. I got really pink and then nothing happened. All right. Well, we will hear that music. We thank you guys all for sending in your stuff. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.